Joining us from San Antonio, Texas is Alejandra. Now, just 2 months after Alejandra met a man named Bryan on a dating app, she was shocked to discover she was pregnant. Bryan immediately demanded a DNA test, and after the baby was born, she gave him one. But when the results showed that he was the father of Alejandra's now 4-year-old daughter, Aleeyana, Bryan refused to believe the test. In fact, he says the only test he's going to trust is the Maury Show DNA test. So, Bryan only will believe my test. I mean, explain all this, because you already gave him one.
Yes, Maury, I already gave him one. This is kind of ridiculous. I don't know what we're doing here. He got his DNA test back in 2019, and, obviously he doesn't believe the truth, so...
So here's the thing. It wasn't one of those home DNA tests. It was a court-ordered test, right?
Yes, Maury. We had to go and do a DNA test by the courts. So, again, they did the same thing that they did now here.
The same thing that you just did with us, you did back in 2019.
Yes, sir.
So let's go back to that year. How would you describe your relationship with Bryan?
There wasn't really a relationship. It was more of a weekends. We would hang out during the weekends. Here and there, I did sleep with him, and then 3 months later, I found out I was pregnant.
So you found out you were pregnant. Did you tell him?
Yes, sir, I did. He stated that I was being selfish, that it wasn't true. He started telling me that,
You were going to be, he said you were going to be selfish because you were going to keep the baby.
Yes, because he did have a...
She knew it wasn't the case.
He stated I was selfish.
She knew that wasn't the case.
He had a different child, and he stated on a text that that I would be taken away from his other child if I decided to keep my child.
When did he start to deny your
That's
child?
that's a bunch of baloney.
From day one.
So he wasn't there during the pregnancy, he wasn't there during your birth, didn't sign a birth certificate, any of that.
No, he did not sign the birth certificate. He was not there. I did it on my own.
I wasn't even made aware of when it actually happened.
He knew from 2017, and he's lying right now, Maury. Again, he's just a liar. He's a manipulator. This is what he wants. He wants attention.
I'm not a liar. You're a liar.
You think this is all about attention?
Yes.
Really?
This is all he wants.
If that was the case, I would have raised my first by myself.
He already has the results, so I don't know why we're even doing here.
Because of the last DNA test.
I don't trust those results. If they were done in an actual lab, maybe I would have trusted them.
You think he looks like Aleeyana?
No, if we're being completely Maury, he does not. But
no, look at the eyebrows. Look at the eyes.
She does have his character. She does have his attitude, and honestly, it sucks because his attitude's not the best.
It's not my baby, Alejandra. There's a good chance it's not.
You're just lying. You're trying to get attention, and hopefully this is a good 15 minutes of your fame, Bryan. Because again, like I said, this is not okay. We're tired of you. We're tired of you treating us like this.
Alejandra, has he done anything since Aleeyana's been born?
No, he has not done anything. He hasn't been there. The couple of times that he tries to be there,
I didn't get my
just to harass,
check, right?
just to be there and try to like.
I can understand, Bryan. We have a lot of people who come on the show, and they they try to do these home DNA tests, and they all get messed up. And I can understand how people are going to doubt a home DNA test, but this was a court-ordered test. Why don't you think the result was perfect?
Well, Maury, because when we went to go take the lab test in a lab, okay, that had a huge sign that says DNA test, testing, paternity testing, things of that nature. That to me is an actual location that can say we've got chain of custody. When you go into what appears to be,
you're just full of excuses, Bryan. You're just full of excuses.
Well, hey, if you give me a chance to explain, maybe you might understand. I'm going into an attorney's office, what looks appear like an attorney's office, with just the wooden desk in between the two of us.
Yeah, but you trust my test.
And we're talking about the state that makes mistakes all the time.
You're full of crap, Bryan. It's just excuses, Bryan.
You trust my test?
Oh, I trust your test, Maury, because I went into an actual lab.
The bottom line, Bryan, is that you are the father, and you know this.
Bryan,
okay, well, I guess we'll find out today, right?
What was going on in your head when Alejandra told you she was pregnant?
She took off, Maury. She talks about hanging out every weekend.
You said you didn't even want her, Bryan, from the beginning. You said it was selfish to bring her to this world. You said that we were both
that was
unstable.
never actually said.
You did say. You did say
that. That was never actually said.
You did say that because guess what? I have those text messages from 2017, Bryan, I have those
Alejandra,
messages,
I
so you
took
need to
over
stop
and
lying.
taking
How about
care
you
of a
just stop
child.
lying? Stop lying,
Okay.
Bryan.
Go ahead, Bryan.
Stop.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bryan.
Maury, I raised the child since she was 5 weeks old, since her mom passed. Okay, by myself. I had the option from her grandparents to say, you know what, we'll take over. I said, no more, no grandparents. Okay, I'll take care of her. So as far as being a parent, Maury, I've been a parent a lot longer than Alejandra. I know how to raise a child and take
That
responsibility.
has nothing to do with it, Bryan. That has nothing to do with it. You know what? Because I've been a
Okay,
parent for 4
enough.
years now.
Thank you very much.
I want to show you a picture of Aleeyana and you. You think you all look alike?
Okay, so there has been some physical features, Maury, but honestly, you look at the eyebrows, okay, they're much different. You look at the eyes, they're much different.
It doesn't matter.
You look at
You're
even the
still her
cheeks
father.
when she's smart. I guess that's your opinion.
Why did you tell my producers that you thought Alejandra played you for a sucker? What does that mean?
Because from day one, I've been nothing but a money tree, Maury. That's the
It's
only
always
time there's
been
really
about
any
money
sort of
to you,
contact.
Bryan. It's always been about money to you.
Well, when I
That's
don't,
all
when I
you
don't
can
get
ever
a
think
visit
about.
that I'm
Every
expected
conversation
to
that
get,
ever comes from you, it
maybe
has
you
to
should
do
show
with
up
money.
for a visit.
You're the one who stepped up to help with the baby, right?
Yes, sir, Maury.
You told my producers you thought that Bryan was being childish. What do you mean?
I just feel like when I came into this situation, it was a mess. I mean, it still is, but it was a mess. And I did start going to visitation just for supervision. I never really
Not
was
for
involved in
supervision.
much.
Not for supervision.
Until it
Maybe,
Bryan
maybe
never
if
came
when we're
out.
having an A/B conversation,
Well,
maybe if Jacqueline was to stay out of the
Tracy,
conversation.
I don't even
Okay,
know why
okay,
you're here
at the
because
end
you've
of the
met
day-
Aleeyana
at the
twice.
end of the
You've been
day,
to
you
two
have
Only
to
two people
question,
were
I'm
in the
gonna
room when
answer it.
they were conceiving a baby.
Only them two were in the room when they were creating it, but guess what? I'm the only one in the house besides Alejandra raising your child because you're not there.
Is that
Explain
because
that.
you guys were missing all these visits? That he
Yeah,
was
in
trying
the same room when
he
I'm
was
having
trying
to help bathe her.
He was trying
when
to
I'm having
create
to
a
help
bond
change
with
her,
his
when
child.
she's throwing
He was
up
trying
and
to
you're not
create a
there.
bond
When
with his
I'm
child,
creating
but you
a
guys
bond with your
keep
child,
making
yes.
excuses.
Okay,
I wanna throw that in the
okay,
apartment. Do you guys stay in the
okay.
same room?
Who are you? Where have you been? You just got here 2 minutes ago.
I'm an advocate for children. I'm an advocate for adults. I'm an advocate for
No.
everybody out there who has no voice.
Are you an advocate for a young 4-year-old to have a father?
My heart is for everybody.
I
I
see.
am studying to be a special education teacher, so I advocate for everyone. Everybody matters, even the little baby that matters.
Yes, but you should
She
mind your business
matters.
on this because you just came into picture.
If I'm supposed to be so much a father, then maybe you need to actually be bringing her to visits instead of making up excuses all the time. Hey, I got a new,
yeah.
I got a
Whoa,
new job.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
I got a
whoa,
new
agree.
job.
whoa, 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 wait a minute, wait a minute. You're not taking him to visits?
No,
We are showing
5
up.
months.
We do show
5
up.
months.
What
5
happened to the
months.
first 2 years when you were supposed to go to visits? You didn't show up.
I don't
and
know
when you
because,
do
well,
show up,
well,
you're too busy with
Maybe that's
Tracy
because
on
we're
the
ghosting.
restroom.
Brian, if you are the father, you will be in that little girl's life, right?
I've been in my youngest Maury since day one
All right.
at the hospital.
Right. And we're going to
Now the
stop.
question is, well, Alejandra.
Wait, you are talking about this baby, right?
Yeah, well, I'm talking about this baby. That's the most important thing. Right? Here we go. In the case of 4-year-old Aleeyana, Bryan, you are the father.
Thank you. For the second time, you get to find out that you are the.
Are you
father.
gonna
How
go to the
embarrassing is
visits?
that? How
So now, do I get
embarrassing.
to actually be a father, or do I actually get
Oh,
to be a
trust
father,
me,
or am I
trust
just a
me.
paycheck?
You're going to be the
Or am I just a
father.
paycheck?
Alejandra's going to allow it, and if she doesn't allow it, that court will allow it.
She hasn't been.
You are not the father.